Impromptu song? Why, yes. Good morning, we're here because we love this world. And if you're here, I hope you share something that makes you smile. And if you stay for a while, I hope your mood will go up. And you will see that you've got a beautiful cup. Welcome to Love Morning. Welcome to Love Morning with me. Welcome to Love Morning. It's made up of you and me. Welcome to Love Morning. Stay a little while and I think you'll see why this is Love Morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am John Halcyon. This is Love Morning. It's a daily practice. It's part of Hug Nation. It is a Love Ambassador meetup. You are invited. You are welcome. Hopefully, you are called to add your vibes, your energy, your gratitude to this collective casserole of gratitude and goodness and good energy that we create together. And then we feast on all day long and share with all we meet as we go through the world. You are a Love Ambassador. Whether you know it or not, you are fully qualified in this moment to step into your role as an officer of kindness, an agent of connection, an ambassador of love. Good morning. If you're here, say hello. Let us know what you're grateful for, where you are. I'm in San Diego, California. And I'm grateful for a glorious day yesterday of just receiving so much. Yesterday was my 1-year birthday, my 1-year anniversary of getting off ketamine, GHB, and alcohol. And I was public about it. And I got a lot of responses and emails and calls and a plant. I got a plant delivered to the door yesterday. A thank you from Eric and Tasha. Not thank you, a congratulations plant. And man, if you've been following me lately, you know that sending a plant to my door is almost like, well, it's probably better than a strippergram. Now, if it was a plant that slowly removed its leaves, ooh. Good morning, Abigail, and good morning, Jason. Great morning, I should say. Thank you for correcting me. Thanks. I was just noticing. I saw a picture of myself with these goggles, and I saw the picture. I'm like, man, I miss my pink hair. And then I went, wait a minute. It's the goggles that I miss in that photo. I'm like, I can wear the goggles without pink hair. In fact, I think it looks pretty good. Although I did decide that I would put my ears underneath the straps because otherwise, I felt like it accentuated my monkey handles on the side of my head. Good morning, Kiri. Kiri is 4,000 feet up. Hopefully that is consistent and it is not simply a status as you are falling, because that would alarm me. Hopefully you're in a plane. Good morning, Kiri. I hope you had a beautiful trip to Amsterdam. Sounded like it was an adventure and the beginning of an adventure. Maybe every moment is the beginning of an adventure if we think about it, right? I am so grateful for my relationship. And I know I say it often, but I'm aware of it often. Last night, Lisa took me out to dinner and she wanted to know what I remembered about a year ago, what I remembered about what was going through my life. And when I made the choice, the hard decision that I'm no more alcohol for me, no more ketamine, no more GHB. And she knows that chapter of my life, the big catalyst was getting my heart broken. And so here is my current partner asking me to share about another relationship. And that takes real secure attachment to be genuinely curious about a past love. Because I mean, my heart was broken. I've never had my heart broken like that. I was crushed. I had, if you were around at the time, you witnessed a broken human in a lovesick heart. And I was so impressed that I genuinely felt her curiosity and her desire to understand me. And I believed her when she did not feel twinges of jealousy or anything that would detract from our bond, our connection. I'm so grateful to be in a relationship like that. And I think it's a testimony to what we are doing in this relationship to build trust and to really have a secure attachment to one another. I'm so grateful. So grateful. It's hard to believe that I have known Lisa for less than a year for reasons like that. And it's one reason why I've been talking about book 1 and book 2, because this book 2 is so different. And it doesn't work to try to compare. Like, if I start to miss something from book 1, it's like, "No, book that doesn't work." It's like, okay, I read an awesome Middle-earth book with hobbits, and now I'm reading a sci-fi book in Ender's Game series. Like, you can't be in Ender's Game's world and be like, "Oh, hey, can we have a wizard come in and build a bridge?" Like, yeah, bridge building wizards are awesome, but it would collapse the beauty of what's happening in the space station of Ender's Game world. Now, what cool thing is the characters can overlap. So there are many characters that played a role in my Middle-earth chapter that are now the same characters, but we interact differently because the main character has evolved and changed. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Janet, hello. Janet is grateful for my swim this morning. Also grateful for having a clear brain today. Hashtag no drinks. Hashtag fasting. Awesome. Tracy says, good morning to you and happy anniversary. What a wonderful accomplishment. Have a fantabulous day. Thank you, Tracy. So far, so good. I've got, what do I have? Oh, we're going to record Stay Spark today. We tried yesterday and one of us had a bandwidth issue. So we all have to be on good high-speed internet for the recording to work. So we postponed. We'll do that today. And I've got some errands. I've got a bunch of little projects that I'm trying to work on. Oh, I'm also grateful. I had an awesome meeting yesterday with an old online friend, Dougie, who I never really dropped in with, but we followed each other online for a long time. And he's doing this like AI consulting now and helping people to integrate AI tools and facilitate AI projects. And so I reached out and we had a meeting yesterday, and I think feels really good about at least doing some work together to help me get over some uncertainty in terms of using some of the tools out there to organize and reutilize the massive library of content that I've created over the last 20 years. Good morning, Brent. Hello to you in the oak-lined polo fields of Southeast Alabama. I didn't even know there were oak-lined polo fields in Alabama. I've never been to Alabama. Abigail is grateful for the Stay Sparked episode about authenticity. Yay, I love hearing that. I listened to it driving into Loveburn, and it really helped me get into the right headspace. Been sharing it with friends since then. Oh, awesome. Let's see. Are you okay with that being read on the air? Or if you'd like a different name? Yeah, we sometimes we like to read reviews, but we don't get a lot of reviews. So I will see if I can. Hopefully, I would like to make that happen, but I can be a scrappy one. If I don't write things down. Who knows? But thank you. That's very great to hear. I think today's broadcast is going to be about choices around inebriation, which is heavily on my mind. Anyone else have any gratitude to share or something that's alive in your heart, something alive in your body? I've been working on a year schedule with Lisa and figuring out where we have gaps and when she's going to be away and when I think the next thing, like I have a couple trips I need to try to schedule, and I'm going to try to do some, I think, online all day workshops, like an all day Saturday or all day Sunday Pink Path online workshop. So stay tuned. Also, Lisa and I'm grateful we booked a weekend in the middle of the week getaway to Idlewild in a few months. We're going to go see some trees, and I'm excited about that. Anybody else want to share a little gratitude? Gratitude. Why does my voice do that? Gratitude. I'm grateful for the Stay Sparked practice. It's so wonderful to have on the calendar every week a drop in with two of my favorite people. And speaking of that, I'm grateful that it sounds like we might be doing another recording a new Hard on the 80s episode soon. I think we're going to try to do Revenge of the Nerds. Looks like it's hard to find it online, but I think that's the one I've been wanting to do since the get-go. That's got so many cringy things in it. Good morning, Christine. Hello to you in Malaysia. I always feel a little jolt of expansiveness when you say hello, and I feel your presence from around the world. Christine says, your indoor greens seem to be multiplying. Love it. Grateful for the little things. Managed to have all these little pending chores completed today. Yay. Bravo. And I moved some plants yesterday because I set up a massage table back there to work on Lisa a little bit. So I moved some plants so that I wouldn't knock them as I was treating her. And I did get a new plant yesterday. It's not on camera, but I got a new beautiful plant as a congratulations gift. Natasha says, I am still so grateful for my partner. They are taking care of their dying mother and still so present for me and our kiddos. That's beautiful. The reality of passing parents is thick in my world with my friends' parents and the aging of my parents. And so I've been in a lot of conversations lately about death. You know, by far the most experience I had with death was Grandpa Caleb. I should say both my grandfathers, I have memorable death experiences. My grandpa Stin, he went into hospice in our home and died over the course of about a month, where he was on morphine and out of it, and just it did not feel like my grandfather was there for the entire month. I felt like whatever's in there, that breathing meat suit in there, my grandpa's nowhere near that. It was not a beautiful experience. And then my experience with Grandpa Caleb were so beautiful, and him, you know, up until his last day being so vibrant and curious, and then his actual death being quite peaceful. But I've, talked to people who have examples of far more traumatic passing, and some incredibly beautiful stories of people transitioning that I've heard recently. And I love the conversation. Lisa and I, whenever the topic comes up, I always say, look, we already got a plan. We're Thelma and Louising it. When apocalypse comes, we're Thelma and Louise off the cliff. That's it. Like I've occasionally the top will come up and we'll acknowledge that neither my partner and I are planning well for the apocalypse. We have no firearms. We have no stockpiles of food. And I kind of like, look, the hand that I'm playing in this life, if the system collapse, I fold, and we Thelma and Louise that shit off a cliff. That's my plan. There might be flaws in my plan, but I really don't have a lot to offer a post-apocalyptic society. my ability to use a toolkit or fix an engine are zero. Good morning, Zoe. Zoe says, Happy Thursday. Grateful for a very physically active day yesterday, feeling sore in all the best ways today. Thank you for that reminder. I am so grateful for my body. I'm so grateful to be out of pain. So grateful that I've added more physical therapy to my routine. And I'm just starting to feel like I am confident I can get this body strong and so much more functional. It's such a good, striving to reduce pain is such a different mindset than building upon this temple or maintaining this temple. And I really feel like, okay, I'm dedicated to honoring this temple. I'm not doing as good with food still. I did last night have a pint of ice cream. I will acknowledge that. But it was my 1-year birthday, and I wanted to celebrate after celebrating the beautiful dinner that Lisa took me out to. Abigail is grateful for a new potential relationship. I had completely given up on love, and he has really proved me wrong so far. That is exciting. Yay. I like hearing that. It's so fun for me to hear from people who like witness Lisa and I and go, oh my gosh, it's so gives me hope, because neither Lisa and I were ever in really serious relationships ever in our life. I mean, we've been in long-term relationships. I mean, she's bought a house with someone. I've lived with people for 5 years, but I never like was with someone and it was like, okay, we're going to build a life together, or we're going to make life choices as a unit. And, we are late 40s, early 50s. And it's good to remember that sometimes it takes many decades of self-work before the heart access is healthy enough to connect with another person in the way that you want to. The best way to get the partner of your dreams is to become a dream partner by doing enough work that you do not inflict your shit upon another person. And understand that as other people are going through their stuff, that has nothing to do with you. I think that's the line between problematic relationships and potential relationships. If you can get to the point where you can get good about not taking out and making your traumatic trigger shit, taking it out on the other person, and when you can recognize when they're in their trigger shit, that's not you. You have now achieved a very workable relationship. Everything else you can kind of figure out and repair and make accommodations and compromises. But that class, if you can pass that class, which is super difficult and takes many, many years, and it's an ongoing practice, that is what allows you to be your presence in a relationship is a gift at that point. You are not a burden on someone. You are a partner to someone. Paney says, my grandfather died peacefully in his sleep. Also, the poor people. You got me. I think that's a Stephen Wright joke. I want to die like my father did, peacefully in his sleep, not like his passengers screaming in the back of his bus. Good one. You got me. All right. Juan has made it 3 times to Love Morning this week. I'm grateful for that too. That's a trifecta of Juans. Kiri is grateful I'm over halfway through this long flight. Claire says it's important, or my sponsor tells me it's important to treat ourselves like ice cream. Yeah, I have very clearly decided that the indulgence of ice cream is an indulgence. the indulgence of food is soothing and is sometimes a coping mechanism and is emotional eating. I totally acknowledge all of those things. And its impact on my thinking, my choices, my health is within my acceptable boundaries. Now, it's not negligible. It's not zero. Like if I eat a pint or 2 pints of ice cream, I'll say, especially early in the afternoon, if I eat a whole bunch of carbs and sweets, I'm generally going to be doing not much for the rest of the day. So there is a consequence. It's kind of like if you start drinking in the afternoon, but it it doesn't have nearly the effect. Although now that I think about it, I wonder how much better my sleep would be if I didn't eat late at night. I mean, I don't have to wonder. Science says it would be way better. Everyone says it would be way better. So, okay. So that's my long way of saying I understand that my food relationship has work and I'm totally cool with where I'm at for now. Gustavo, good morning. Gustavo is grateful for having an interview today, passed the aptitude test, so now it's up to my charisma. Oh, well, you are in like Belizzi. Flynn, put Izzy on the end? I don't think I pulled that off. Don't quote me on that in your interview. Sugar has been linked to Alzheimer's. Yep, so has deodorant, so has NyQuil, so has a lot of things. Like I said, Thelma and Louise, that's my plan. It has only been since meeting Lisa that I had any desire to grow old. I never thought I would be alive in my 50s. I've made many, many choices over the years with the understanding that I'm not going to live very long. In fact, Lisa was quoting me the other day, like, I will choose present day joy over future health any day of the week. That had been my attitude for a long time. Abigail says, picking your nose is also linked to Alzheimer's. It'll be really interesting to see where the state of health, like what common knowledge is in health is in 10 years. Like I still have a lot of things that I grew up with that I have to remind myself that's not true anymore. Like we don't believe that, fat is bad for you inherently. Sugar is way worse for you than fat. But I remember growing up and buying fat-free cookies and eating like a sleeve of them because I thought it's fat-free. It's like I'm dieting as I'm eating this massive amount of sugar. Yes, Lisa's something special. We were doing a lot of words of affirmation yesterday, and she really made me feel good about the man I am and the choices I've been making. And it's like I tell her, I mean, like it's unbelievable how much easier it is for me to make good choices when I'm in partnership with her. I think we both make each other better, which is kind of the dream scenario. I mean, but she was pretty amazing before we met. Mingle says, I have gratitude that I'm at Disneyland. Woohoo! Wow, that's cool. I haven't been to Disneyland in a long time. You're not there with Aaron, are you? Daniel, thank you. Saying congrats on my sobriety. Super proud of you and love your message. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, I'm feeling real good right now. I'm very in the Lion Tracker's Guide to Life concept right now. Like, I don't know where I'm going, but I know exactly how to get there. Like, I know being a love ambassador, I know that self-observation, I know who I want to be in the world. And I trust that I will figure out what I need to do in the world. But one of the things that came up yesterday is I think I am going to put on the calendar a couple day-long Pink Path workshops, kind of like the uh, Love Ambassador meetup. What did I call it? The Love Ambassador, whatever. A gathering of love ambassadors to do exercises and uh, talking and sharing and growing. And so I used to do them. We meet once a week for 6 weeks, and there's some awesomeness to that because you let things settle in and you think about the lessons of the week. But my struggle with that is that some people are like, I'm all in and I'm gonna do the exercises and come to the office hours, and then some people just like show up to the classes, or they look at the assignment right before, and you don't have the same kind of like, we're all moving through this together that you do like if you're in an in-person retreat. So I'm going to try, I've never done it before, an online all day. So we meet, do stuff for a few hours, have lunch breaks, come back, do things for a few hours, have a break. Who knows? But I got to now figure that when that's going to be on the calendar, and I will let you know if you have interest. Christine says, my sister is quite Thelma and Louise as well, but I think it's because she hasn't found her Lisa. Yeah, that's Lisa is less attached to my Thelma and Louise exit, but I think we both like the idea of a chosen death process. In fact, I think she's okay with me saying this. Like, in California now, there are a lot of people I know, some personally, who, upon receiving a terminal diagnosis, decide that they are going to take a cocktail. The one I know is doctor prepared, doctor approved, and decide, okay, I'm going to go on this day, and this is the circumstances I want. I want to be here. I want this music playing. I want these people there, and this is going to be my last moments alive in this body. And so Lisa has played music for people before. When a family says, "Will you play guitar and sing?" during the final hours as we're saying our goodbyes, which I just think is the coolest honor ever. And this really beautiful thing happened with my dear friend's dad. He was given a terminal diagnosis, and she had 4 months, they said, about. And he thought about it for about a week and said, okay, I'm going to die next Thursday. And his family was like, what? No. It's 4 months. It's 4 months that you could be spending with us. It's 4 months of time. And he was like, no, I'm done. We're going to do it next Thursday. And so then for the next week, every day, family just surrounded him and said things and asked things and filmed things and did everything. And he was in pretty good shape. He was weak and getting weaker. He was in some pain, but he's a stoic guy, hard to tell, but he said not terrible pain, but getting worse. And so he's just like, I don't want those last 3 not so good months if I can just say goodbye now. And so the family was very resistant, but I think their attitudes changed because on his last day in his deathbed, surrounded by his loved ones, he told them, he goes, first of all, he had interactions with his kids that they've never had before, and emotional levels of connection that they'd never had before. And then on his deathbed, he said, this was the best week of my life. Would you pay 3 years of pain and suffering for the best week of your life and for that to be what your family remembers as your exit? To me, that's a no-brainer. But I understand that it's really different depending on your attitudes towards what death is. And for some people, even those final months could be filled with a huge amount of learning or evolution or surrender. There are things that we hold on to so tight until we can't. And the frailty of dying is a place where if you don't let go, you're going to go down screaming and in agony. And many people do. Good morning, Chris. Good morning. Natasha, will you remind me what MIL means? That is what we were working on for my MIL. You know, I share this often. My grandfather, his last words as he was leaving the hospital to be sent home to go into hospice, his last words were, "Isn't this exciting? I don't know what the next chapter is." Ah, mother-in-law. Thank you. And it really struck with me. He didn't say it to me, he said it to my mom. And like, to me, that is one of the most powerful motivators to do practices like this and try to make each day living in a way that is in alignment with the person that I want to be. Because that's what my grandfather did. And then when it came time for him to be done with this life, he did not utter the words, "I wish I spent more time." Ba, 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 ba. And that's where I want to be. I don't want to say, "Oh, I wish I spent more time with people that I loved. I wish I spent more time in service. I wish I spent more time appreciating life." Because if you do spend enough time doing the things you think you believe it resonates with your truth, then when you're starting to get to the end of this body's ability to house your soul, you can go, "All right, that was pretty rad. I wonder what's next." Natasha says, "I love Caleb. He made such an impression on me." That was a really awesome chapter. That was a really awesome chapter. Really wonderful to have shared that with you. And I believe I know the answer to this, but I hope that as I talk about my current relationship, and when I talk about how my past relationships were not the same as this, that you understand that that is a explanation of myself, not a judgment about us when we were then. I mean, one of our first dates, Lisa said, "I'm so grateful for all of your past partners that help you grow into the person you are today." I'm like, amen. Jen says, "So many discussions about death with grandma and my parents. They all want cremation with the ocean. OB Pier is closed, so crystal pure it is. Caregiving is a blessing." I was watching This Is Us, and there's some scenes that I just watched where they're deciding what to do with someone's ashes. And I haven't really thought a lot about what I want done with my ashes. I've thought about what I want for my service. I've actually recorded a video to be played at my service. Um, uh, and I still have some of my grandpa Caleb's ashes. And I had this moment of thought, like, oh, I hope I get to, over the course of, if I stay alive a long time, I hope I have little bits of ashes of many people that are important to me. Because I love having a little bit of grandpa's ashes in my home. There's also ashes of his on Pikes Peak. There's ashes of his in the Burning Man Black Rock Desert. And there's ashes of him mixed into the paint job of the Hugmobile. But I also like that there's ashes of him in my altar. Natasha says, "I love your love. It's good for me." Thank you. I feel that. Thank you. I love you. And so grateful. So grateful. I do have to say that our photos together during that chapter are so fucking hot that I have to be careful about posting those. just because not, Lisa is totally cool, but if people don't know me and they know Lisa and then they see me posing pictures with the hottest pink-haired human next to another pink-haired human, people go like, "What's up? What's going on? What's..." So it's just too spicy. Some people too spicy for the mental palates of some, but I'm glad we have those photos. Oh, Natasha says we are working on finding a green plot today for Mama. Green plot, is that like a graveyard, or is that like land that you put ashes or remains in that then becomes part of the land? Natasha says, you are a great chapter of my life. Y'all have a new chapter and it's glorious. Thank you. You're awesome. And thank you for the inspiration and support for my current journey. Well, this has been a beautiful opportunity to connect with you. I hope you feel it. I feel inspired and grateful and a little bit more in touch with the person that I want to be today as I go and say hello to people and act as an ambassador of love in the world. So I hope that you feel that way too, and you spread those ripples in the world. Oh, speaking of that, I got two more things to say. One is Natasha answered that burial in a cemetery that decomposes into the earth. Got it. Thank you. I had someone reach out to me yesterday and they said, will you help? Like, I can find nothing to be grateful for right now. And then they sent me a link to a story, some news about I believe their niece, so their sister's child, had died in early teens. And like, talk about the worst of the worst things that could happen. And so this person is asking me, like, help me find something to be grateful for. And I was like, no. I said, it is totally okay to be fully submerged and overwhelmed by grief. Period. And in time, when the pain has lessened, I believe you will become aware of how the ripples of this young person have touched your life. And you will become aware that for the rest of your life, the ripples that you put in the world will be touched by those ripples of hers. And so you will be spreading her ripples into the world for as long as you live. And I have faith that you'll be able to find gratitude in that. And I was like, oh, I hope that wasn't too preachy or too like optimistic. Luckily, she said, that's exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you. So with that, a reminder of the preciousness of every moment we have with another person that we care about, the preciousness of every moment we have on this planet in these bodies, a reminder to be grateful for the cone, not to pretend there's no crap, but when we can, when we can get out from under the crap mountains, that we can really find ways to enjoy our cone. And so wherever you are, let's give ourselves a big squeeze, appreciate this body, appreciate this moment, appreciate everyone that has touched your being for your whole life, not specifically, just this recognition that there's so much care, so much loving, so many words and gestures and hugs that have been layered upon layered upon layered to create this energetic buzz of a human with so much to give. So let's sink into that acknowledgement of this unique collection of ripples that we are, and then know that we're all so similar, so unique and so similar. Let's take a deep breath in and sink into the oneness of this big collective ripple world, this galaxy of ripples that we all are a part of. And take a deep breath in and squeeze. Squeezing me. Me squeezing you. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of us, thank you for being here for this Hug Nation Love Morning. I love you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel good right now, so thank you, thank you, thank you.